evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and this is your Royal Daily News for September 7th, 2022. In the province of East Flanders, Her Majesty Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, on the occasion to the run-up of her 50th birthday, participated in the second leg of her cycling initiative entitled Let's Move Forward Together for Mental Wellness. This morning, Her Majesty cycled 31 km with, quote, individuals and organizations who invest in mental wellness. Along the way, Her Majesty met with the staff and young people from Diplomats, a youth protection center, as well as with handy sports cyclists and representatives from the project Stichting Brandwonen. Yesterday afternoon in Brussels, Their Majesties King Philippe and Queen Mathilde of the Belgians met with Belgian diplomats at Château de Laeken as part of the, quote, Contact Days organized by the SPF Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade and Development Cooperation, end quote. During the meeting, Their Majesties thanked all the Belgian ambassadors and consul generals for their work representing Belgium and serving Belgians living or traveling abroad. Last evening in Munsbach, His Royal Highness Grand Duke Henri of Luxembourg visited the nature reserve and bird station to observe the migration of birds, specifically swallows. During his visit, Mr. Jim Schmitz, head of the Nature Reserve and Bird Station, informed Grand Duke Henri about, quote, the behavior of swallows as they are currently preparing for a journey of 10,000 km to the African continent to avoid a cold winter. They will fly at the end of the month to land 3 weeks later in Cameroon, Congo, Gabon, Central Africa, and some descending even south of the equator, end quote. In San Francisco, Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands continued her working visit to Northern California. This morning, Her Majesty, accompanied by the Mayor of San Francisco, Ms. Nicole London Breed, visited the Golden Gate Bridge on the city side. Thereafter, Her Majesty arrived at UC Berkeley campus to attend the launch of the Dutch Network for Academics, DNA. According to a press release, the DNA was established to, quote, strengthen the bilateral relations between the Netherlands and the United States through academic cooperation. Academic success depends on the exchange of innovative ideas, end quote. In Amman, Her Majesty Queen Rania of Jordan celebrated the 15th anniversary of the Children's Museum Jordan, as well as inaugurated the museum's upgraded technology and communications exhibition. Established in 2007, the Children's Museum Jordan is an educational nonprofit organization that is home to 185 indoor and outdoor interactive exhibits. The museum also has educational facilities including a library, an art studio, and the Secret Garden. The museum organizes a variety of events including year-round programs, camps, science shows, and demonstrations, as well as a science and arts festival. During today's celebration and inauguration, Her Majesty, accompanied by the director of the Children's Museum Jordan, Ms. Swanson Dalak, and Zain Jordan's CEO, Mr. Fahad Al-Hussein, met with the staff as well as toured the new technology and communication space. Meanwhile, in Al-Saud, His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan and His Royal Highness Crown Prince Al-Hussein bin Abdullah II of Jordan visited two pioneering projects that recently received support from the Al-Saud Foundation. The day began with a visit to the headquarters of the Al-Saud Foundation. During the visit, His Majesty and the Crown Prince were informed about the Foundation's latest projects to preserve the city of Al-Saud's heritage. His Majesty and the Crown Prince also met with elders and representatives of the local community in the Al-Bakwa Governorate. During the meeting, His Majesty the King stressed the importance of investing in tourism and agricultural opportunities in the Governorate. Thereafter, His Majesty and the Crown Prince visited the Saltas Pottery Project. His Majesty and the Crown Prince also visited the Bet Jarir Al-Adam Hospitality. The hospitality house was built in 1891 and was recently approved by the Jordanian Heritage Authority as an official national heritage site. Recently, the Al-Saud Foundation contributed to the restoration of the house, which is a popular tour site and dining facility. In Madrid, His Majesty King Philippe VI of Spain presided over the opening ceremony of the 2022-2023 judicial year at the Supreme Court. During this morning's opening ceremony, His Majesty received the new Attorney General of the state as well as a president of the General Council of the Judiciary. This is a fourth consecutive opening held by the governing body of judges in office. During the ceremony, the new Attorney General of the state and the President of the General Council of the Judiciary officially presented the annual report on the state operation and activities of the courts and the tribunals of justice, as well as the annual report on their activity, the evolution of criminality, crime prevention, and appropriate reforms for greater efficiency of justice. In Fredensborg, Her Majesty Queen Margrethe II of Denmark held an audience with the Moldovan Speaker of the Parliament, His Excellency Igor Gursu, and the Speaker of the Danish Parliament, His Excellency Heinrich Dam Christensen, held at Fredensborg Slot. The Speaker of the Parliament of Moldova is visiting Denmark throughout the day, where His Excellency will participate in meetings together with members of the Presidium of the Danish Parliament. In Sem, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon of Norway visited the Magic Factory, where food waste and animal manure are recycled into 3 new products: biogas, biofertilizer, and green CO2. Biogas replaces the use of fossil fuels, such as petrol and diesel, in vehicles. Biofertilizer replaces the use of synthetic fertilizers in agriculture, and green CO2 replaces the use of CO2 from fossil fuels in food production in greenhouses. In this way, the Magic Factory contributes to minimizing greenhouse gas emissions while at the same time the factory processes the food waste and animal manure. The waste company Vassar is behind the Magic Factory, which aims to teach young people, 6th graders and 9th graders, the importance of source sorting, sustainability, renewable energy, and more environmentally friendly behavior. The goal is to educate and inspire young adults who, in turn, can influence their parents and other adults in a greener direction. During today's visit, Crown Prince Haakon was given a tour of the Magic Factory and met with students from a local school who are participating in various activities at the factory. In the laboratory, the Crown Prince and the students carried out photosynthesis experiments with student teachers who acted as mediators. The mediators told the Crown Prince and the other guests, well, the students, about the work that they do at the Magic Factory. In Os, Her Highness Princess Martha Louise of Norway officially opened the Norwegian Association of the Blind's new guide and service dog training facility and school. After the opening, the princess was given a tour of the new 1,200 square meter facility, met with staff, and of course, cuddled with a bunch of cute little dogs and fluffy puppies. In Stockholm, their Royal Highnesses Crown Princess Victoria and Prince Daniel of Sweden met with representatives from the Swedish business and industry at the Kalinga Slottet. During the meeting, the Crown Princess couple were informed about the, quote, various issues concerning Swedish companies' international trade, end quote. Last evening, Her Majesty Queen Sylvia of Sweden presided over the Sylvia Hemmet's graduation ceremony held at the Drottningholm Slott Theatre. During the ceremony, Her Majesty presented brooches and diplomas to graduating Sylvia sisters and Sylvia nursing students. In London, Buckingham Palace confirmed that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has been advised by her doctors to rest after a, quote, full day yesterday. Her Majesty has accepted the advice and cancelled a planned Privy Council meeting that had been due to take place earlier this evening. It will be rearranged at a later date, end quote. And finally, in Berkshire, their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, along with their children, His Royal Highness Prince George of Cambridge, Her Royal Highness Princess Charlotte of Cambridge, and His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Cambridge, arrived at the Lambrook School to attend a, quote, settling in welcome day reception. The annual event is a way to welcome new students and their families to the school the day before fall classes begin, end quote. The royal family was warmly welcomed by the headmaster of the Lambrook School, Mr. Jonathan Perry. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow on Thursday, September 8th with all the latest royal news. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful evening and a great day tomorrow. Okay, take care everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.